Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for taking a little time out of your day to join us here on Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition. And thank you all for coming on in. As you could tell from the thumbnail within this video, hey, if you didn't already know, some news came out yesterday. Pro Football Focus had announced their top 25 under the age of 25 across the NFL. And who led the NFL with the most amount of players on that list? That's right, the Detroit Lions. Probably not a big surprise. Anybody who watches NFL football, everybody has talked about how young this Detroit Lions team has been last year, this upcoming season, and in the last few years. In fact, they lead the league, and not by a little bit, by a wide margin. The only other team relatively close to the Detroit Lions with a number of players on the list with the Houston Texans with 3 players. After that, it went down to 2 and across the board, and a lot of teams did not even have 1. So give props, praise, credit, or where credit is due. Brad Holmes, the front office, the scouting department, everybody in between. You know what? The Detroit Lions have got a really good young team, and that's a reflection of their ability to be a draft and develop. This list doesn't even include some of the guys coming up that are starting to get into their own. Some of the rookies from last year that maybe didn't have as pronounced a season, say as Jack Campbell, etc. But you get it. When you look across the roster of the Detroit Lions, you mostly see a very young team. It'll be interesting to see after this upcoming season if they even add more players. Could Terrion Arnold crack the list or some other person not on the list? Remember, Penei Sewell is number 1 overall in the league, and he's only 23. I get he's played in the league for 3-4 seasons. He'll be so the fact that he could still be on this list next year, that's incredible. All right, real quick before we get into the meat of the show, just as you guys know, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,700, and we are about, survey says, about 24 subs away. So if you're watching and if you haven't subbed, please consider doing so. Also, if you would be ever so kind, hit that thumbs up button. As you all know, the like button, it really helps push the show out to a bunch of new people who haven't yet discovered the channel. So if you would take just a brief second of time and hit that thumbs up button, that'd be great. All right, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text. You're going to need the representation from somebody, especially with the new laws going into place. If you want to go see a house or if you want to sell a house, you're going to have to sign, well, at least if you want to see a house or property or commercial property, come July 1st, you have to have a real estate agent. That's new law across the country. And you know what? You're going to have to sign a form that says, yes, I'm okay with this knucklehead. That'd be me showing you a property or in one way or form. So don't forget to reach on out to me. I've done this since the early 90s and worked all sorts of different real estate transactions, vacant land, commercial property, secondary homes, primary homes. You get it anywhere from the Upper Peninsula, left side of the state, right side of the state, south side of the state. Don't forget, when you're out looking at property, stop in Sturgis, Michigan, and see the last remaining hot now in all the world. So I know I always do whenever I go that way. So give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. All right, let's move on from talking about delicious hot now food and talk about the Duke Crew. What do you guys have to say? Brad Holmes, should he get a statue of himself? A bronze or gold statue out in front of Ford Field, what he's done to change this franchise. The fact that we're talking about the Fab Five being the Detroit Lions, the 5 best young players on the team that you could probably list and leading the league in the most young players under the age of 25 or 25 or younger. Hey, what else can you say? Is there anybody else you think that next year will be on this list? Maybe somebody that should have been on the list this year. That's why I want to see what you guys have to say. Are there any teams you think that got gypped by not having more players on the list? I get it's all debatable, but for me, I think this is a pretty good list for the Detroit Lions. Yes, there are probably a couple other guys just off the top 25, but Detroit's loaded with talent. All right, let's see what you guys got to say. Let's head on over to the Duke Crew and see what you got. Whoa, I'm seeing that maybe there's 1 or 2 comments. I knew we had a few, but I didn't think it was this deep just yet. All right, JDC, good morning all. Good morning to you too. Moonscar, good morning. Duke Crew, back at you. Bus driver, greetings and salutations, Dan of the Duke Group. Back at you, bus driver. Hopefully, Brent, you're having a great morning, my friend. Robert, Coach, what do you think the offense has to do to stay on the cutting edge? Basically, one of the big things I think they do very well, or kind of reminds me of, say, like the late 70s, early 80s Raiders, is that most of the Lions formations look very similar. They do not tip their hand a ton, whether if it's going to probably be a run play or a pass play, because they run so much of both out of similar formations that it makes it very difficult for opposing defenses. To me, that's the first thing you need to continue. The second thing is then it just comes down to execution of plays. You look at just how deep we are at all the real skilled positions. Running back, we've got a lot of good talent there. Receivers, tight ends, offensive line. I get you don't typically list the offensive line as skilled positions, but I think that's the biggest thing, Robert. Then it comes down to play calling, understanding the down and distance, the personnel on the field for the defense, being able to make in-game adjustments on the fly. And I don't care if it's football, baseball, or whatever sport, basketball. The longer you coach, typically, the faster you make those adjustments. And that's why I'm thinking we'll see more pronounced and steady improvement with the product on the field, just as Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn or whoever else or MCDC just get better at making those adjustments quickly and without having to go to halftime. That's where I think we sometimes struggle as a franchise is, we get into the half and somebody else changes something else with the other team, and it takes us a quarter or so to kind of figure out the answers for it. We all know about the third quarter lulls of this team. All right, Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Root. Nothing but the best. Superdome or bust. Woo! The first woo of the show. And you know what? Never gets old, man. All right, anyways, Moonscar, Brad Holmes shops for the freshest of ingredients when making his Hallelujah Blue Kool-Aid. He does, man. And you know what? I get most of us are going to say, hey, Sano's getting hired away, or other people from the front office and scouting department getting hired away by the Commanders or other teams. It's not a big deal. I would say this, everybody watching, pay attention to this trend. We are getting picked apart in the front offices. And every time, you have to replace somebody, you have to hope the next person is nearly as good or has a work ethic or whatever of the person departing. So it is going to have an effect on us. And it's good that you see the respect the rest of the NFL has towards the Detroit Lions and everybody they have making command decisions for us. But, at some point, let's hope that doesn't impact the team. All right, Dennis, good morning, fam. And Dan, this is Mark Champion signing out. There you go, Mark Champion, man, the former voice of the Detroit Lions. And anybody growing up during when did Champion come on? Early 90s? Something like that. But I thought he did a real good job with the team. Unfortunately, he did make some comments about where he thought the leadership of the franchise was taking the team. And, they moved on from Mark Champion, I guess would be a polite way to put it. All right, Detroit D, greetings and salutations, everyone. Let's flip and go. Well, good morning, and hopefully having a great morning, D, as always. All right, Dennis, woo! Laughing out loud. There you go. All right, Bo, somehow I get the feeling that Hutch is damned with face paint. Yeah, well, he does enjoy it with faint praise. He does enjoy the face paint. He does. I think the big problem with Hutch and the praise, it's just he came out of college, fairly well known. And then his rookie year went pretty dang well, I think, overall. I mean, he had some moments here and there. Last year, I think the only thing he really struggled with is there was a stretch towards the middle of the season where his stats went down. But, I mean, we all talked about it. Bo, I know you and I talked about it, that they were just putting him on such a large snap count that he just got fatigued and tired. And I get they had to do some of that on a necessity, but sometimes as a coach, you have to protect the player from themselves. Later in the year, when they reduced the snap count from like 90 to 70% of the snap counts, his stats went way up. And I'm surprised he doesn't get more mention. But with that also being said, Bo, I think with the season he might be having this upcoming year, that might be changing. Penei Sewell is just, he's a rare breed because you just look at how many snaps he's taken so far in his career. and the fact he's played at such a high level. I mean, there could be an argument to be made. Panay Sewell is the number one offensive lineman in the NFL right now, and again, he's only like 22 or 23. Somewhere at least around there. 23 years old. Yeah, I just looked it up here. But you look at everything he's done, his grades, his snap count, his production level. Panay's, I get why he's number one. But, hey, just so you guys know, I guess I should throw this out there. So when it came to the rankings, Panay Sewell is number one as far as the 25 under 25. Aiden Hutchins came in number 6 overall. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was a little surprised by this one. I thought he would be higher than number 11, but that's where they put him. They put him at number 11 overall. Sam Laporta, number 19, and Gibbs at 21. So, I guess with Gibbs and Laporta, I'm okay with those. St. Brown, I mean, that's not that I'm not okay with St. Brown being number 11. I'm just surprised he wasn't, say, a bit higher on the list. All right, Brent. Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. We have some young guns that are laying a great foundation. Woo! 100%. Yes, it's without question. And I would want to know if Pro Football Focus or whoever could do a list. Who's the next 25? How many Detroit Lions would be on that list? I think there'd probably be quite a few. So there's an argument to be made. I'm trying to do the math in my head here. So hold on a second. I'm going to say there's potential that the Lions could have 8 to maybe 9 of the league's top 50 under 25. I think if Houston didn't get hurt last year, he could potentially be on that list for top whatever out of the top 50. All right, Ed, Lions Talk Live. Yes, that's right. We're going at it right now. Hopefully having a good one, Ed. All right, Steve, greetings and salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Back at you, Steve. Hopefully having a great morning. Jason, this team is certainly stacked with young talent. Anything less than the Superdome will be a disappointment. I would tend to agree, man. We all have such expectations now. And let that sink in as a longtime Lions fan. The expectation this year really is, without any, question marks, being in the Super Bowl this year. Not being a consideration, but really being there and taking part in it. And how much has that changed over everything from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, etc. You know what? Hey, it's a brand new world for Detroit Lions fans. And Brad Holmes does it again. He does, man. He keeps doing it every spring with the draft, it seems. He is putting on masterclass. Ed, quote, I can't draft with my eyes closed. I can draft with my eyes closed, said Brad Holmes, probably. Yes, and maybe we'll get Brad Holmes to jump back on the show. I know he was on a couple days ago. Steve and Brad, we trust 1,000%. Ed, what is this life? I'm so thankful we have Brad. You have to be thankful. You think about how many duds we've had in that position over the decades. And it's no disrespect to any of those gentlemen. I've said it on the show before. I think Russ Thomas was okay. I also think he was not team friendly. And I get some of you won't remember who that is. I think Matt Millen actually would have been a good GM if Matt Millen would have listened to Matt Millen and not everybody else. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and he wrote his own ticket out of town. All right, let's see. Bo, trust the process, 100%. I would agree with that. Hatman, good morning, Dan the Man and Dude family. What a storm in mid and upper Michigan. Did it get pretty bad? Hopefully everybody's okay then, because I know down here we had reports come out about the middle of the afternoon that we might get hit again with a bad storm, and this is just a couple weeks after the multiple tornadoes tore through southwest Michigan. It sounds like, as far as I know, it was just rain. I don't think there was anything more than that. Did get a little windy, but nothing that I could tell as being egregious. So thankfully, it sounds like we were spared from getting hit a second time this month. All right, Steve, it's going to be a beautiful year. Yes, it is for all Detroit Lions fans. I believe it's going to be one heck of a year. Brent, bus day today, traveling to Iowa to see my kids, and they are in an odyssey of the Mine World Competition, stopping at Sweetwater Donuts. All right, good for you, man. I know people love Sweetwater Donuts. If you're not familiar with them, in Kalamazoo, I know they're in some other spots like Battle Creek. There's probably other areas that Sweetwater Donuts exists. People come out of their way for them. But Brent, hopefully have a good one and enjoy the trip. And good luck to your kids, by the way. Ed, if a sweep of Green Bay makes you lose to Seattle or Dallas, would you take it? My answer would be yes, just because your first, to me at least, your first order of business is winning the NFC North. That way you can at least host a home playoff game. So yeah, take care of your division first. Worry about the NFC overall, because if you don't win the NFC, I can tell you the NFC North. I can tell you you're not hosting a playoff game. So just a thought out there. All right, Detroit D. Why must the tickets be so high and the fees? Yeah, geesh. I want to say I've heard that the cheap tickets are now down or around 300 and gosh, don't hold me to this, but $360 a ticket. So I know that's going to price a lot of people out of it. Plus, you figure the parking, the food, the beverages. It becomes an experience going to a Lions game, I guess you'd say, with the prices. But um, I don't really even know what to say about it, man. Other than it is what it is. They're not going to lower the costs right now. There's just too many people. There's standing room only. There's sellouts. There are no season tickets still available. So yeah, I mean, Lions fans, I get it. You've been waiting a long time for it. Now that you got it, this is probably the byproduct of the team's success is the high cost of tickets. Bo, sweep them all out the door. There you go. Get them on out. Ed, if Lions win the Super Bowl, who gets statue first? Brad Holmes, DC, or Jared Goff? JG or JG. I'm gonna go with man. That's a good question. I guess just because the players on the field probably Goff, but man, probably I'd be pushing for Brad Holmes to be up there. I mean, to be fair, all of them, but Jared Goff he would never have to buy food or beverage. Heck, man, you might see the governor come out and say he no longer has to pay taxes in the state of Michigan. It would be something like that, just because if you're the quarterback of a Super Bowl winning team for the Detroit Lions, you are going to be forever remembered. I mean, if you throw some sort of game winner late in the contest, seconds left, I mean, that's going to be etched in every Lions fan's mind until the day they die. All right, what do you got? That is the reason why there is so much hate from the other executives. Yeah, I think you're 100% right that unfortunately, what life has taught me, if you're good at something, you become envious, or people become envious of you and your results. And at some point, not with everybody, but with a fair amount of people, that envy leads to hate. And hate, as we all know, leads to the dark side of the force. But I would agree, there's probably a few people around the league that aren't as big of Brad Holmes fans, just because how their ownership probably views him. If he can do that, why can't we do that? And that becomes a problem and puts pressure on people. All right, Detroit D, the entire 53-man roster. There you go. All of them on the top 25, under 25. All-time greatest Lions team ever. Yeah, Ed O'Neill. It might end up being, I mean, we win it all this year without a shadow of a question of doubt. This team will be immortalized forever just because it will have won a Super Bowl. Everybody on this team will be, I got to watch my words here. I'll just say God send it in Lions fan history, lore, fan base. Yeah, they'll be immortalized. Ed, I hope when it's all said and done, Brad Holmes writes a book. He might, man. He might indeed. All right, just say, Kate, morning, everyone. Brad has done a great job with the drafts, and this shows that clearly. Yeah, I would concur with that, 1,000%. Hatman, one name missing off the list I could think of there is Branch. I know that's probably someone that I would anticipate, Hatman, that if they were to move the list to the top 50, he'd probably be on that list. So my guess is he's just off the list, just the level below. Bo, what do you got? Make a wall with the names on it, players and staff with Sheila in the middle. There you go. Yeah, don't forget everything she's done to help out with this franchise. Eddie, greetings, salutations. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Across the NFL, we're probably the talk of the town. All right, Detroit D. I hate everyone wants to cheer for the Lions. We are the new media favorites. It's still Detroit versus everybody. I would agree, and that's why you probably see us on so many of the national, primetime game slots. And I do anticipate that number will rise by the end of the year. I think we'll probably end up with, another one or two going onto the list. But you're right, D, that, hey, everybody wants to be fans of the Lions now. But at the end of the day, I think all Lions players or fan base still know it's us versus everybody. Every time something like the Dallas situation, the 2-point conversion happens, hey, that just reminds us of everything we've gone through for decades here in Detroit. So, yeah, it's still Detroit versus everybody. France, what do you got? Good evening, Duke Crew. Couldn't find the link for a moment. Had to go into my subscriptions to get it. Well, hopefully you found it. I'm guessing you did because you're here. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. All right, Brett. Yeah, I brought Branch. I thought Branch should have been on there also. I mean, I get it. Totally get it. They didn't put him on. It would be interesting to see if Pro Football Focus offers at some point, hey, here's the honorable mentions or whatever, and see if he's on that list. Ed, I bought my tickets to go to San Francisco. Man, I could only imagine what that cost, Ed. So good for you, and hopefully you have a great time. All right, Ed, only thing wrong with that list is no Aleem. Yeah, he's another one that could probably be up there. Like I said, if we could have a top 50 list, how many Lions now are on the top 50? You got 5 in the top 25. It'd be interesting to see that. All right, Bo, don't leave your heart there, Ed. There you go. Don't leave your heart in San Francisco. All right, Hatman, as of now, we are in a window of 4 to 5 years to win 2 Super Bowls. Let's flipping go. Woo! 100%. Man, we are light on the woos today. Somewhere Don Burr is very happy about that. All right, Moonscar, bus driver Brent. So who's driving the bus then? Hey, maybe it's on autopilot. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Taking the kids to school today, so listening on the way. We've got a great young team. Yes, we do, and enjoy the ride and the time with the kids. Brent, the San Francisco game should be a great one for the number 1 seed. It could be. It actually could come down to that late in the year. So it'll be interesting to see where the league is at that point. And go Lions. All right, Phil, we will see how this team develops. I have hopes, but not expectations. Lions will lose games, and it'll be devastating. Yeah, every time the Lions lose a game, just like last year, the morning shows will be filled with philosophical debates about what we could have done differently, what this player could have done. Well, this guy's it should be cut from the team. This coach should, what are they thinking? Hey, that's part of fandom for all teams, all leagues, and yeah, it'll be no different this year. But at the end of the day, as long as they get it done in the playoffs, we're all going to be okay with it. Moonscar at Detroit D. I feel your pain on those tickets. Nosebleeds that used to be under $40, now $340. Yeah, when the team has expectations, when people actually want to go to the games, when there's a standing room just to get a waiting list, I should say, just to get season tickets, they know they can push the prices one way. So I can remember when they used to have to give away tickets at the Silverdome just to try to fill it up, and even to be fair, even Ford Field. And yeah, sometimes you couldn't even give them away. All right, let's see, Jerome. Good morning, Coach. Curious, when reporters interview pro athletes, is there no limit what they can ask? Seems to me they just trying to get a rise. Do players have to answer? Yeah, to get some. Jerome, I guess what I'll say is some reporters do that, definitely. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get some real, front page material, some shocking statement or whatever. I've never enjoyed that type of reporter. I get why they do it again. It's just me. One of the times that will always jump out to me, there's a gentleman named Greg Wright, and I get most of you aren't going to know him because he was a high school baseball coach at a place called Manawan, Michigan for years. And back when I worked for the Kansas Gazette, you get to know most of the longtime coaches, and I've gotten to know Wright pretty well. His team made it to, I want to say, basically like the quarterfinals in the postseason or the playoffs. And, really basically just a win away from the Final Four or whatever it was. And this is somewhere in the late 90s, I'll say. And, Manawan was this small town team. Nobody really knew them. As far as the grander landscape, I don't even remember who they were playing against. But these reporters were packed after the game. It was a close game, tight game. And there was a call or two that I think the reporters were trying to basically shame Coach Wright about. And they were really getting his grill and everything. So I kind of had enough of it because I thought, man, this is kind of a BS move, trying to grill a coach right after an emotional loss and trying to put it in their face. So I just stepped in and I talked about all the great things they did this year. Hey, what can you say good about the season? Stuff like that. Because to me, a reporter's job shouldn't be to make you feel bad as a player, a contestant, or a coach. It should be just to report the news, not invent news. And that's probably the problem I have sometimes with other reporters. Although, to be honest, it is what sells nowadays. When I watch ESPN or Timbuktu or whatever, that's what you see more and more of in the bigger front lines of stuff, is reporting where people are just trying to get the rise out of somebody to get that clickbait or whatever. And it is what it is, man. I don't have a great answer for it, unfortunately. But to your answer, there's not really a limit what you can ask. Doesn't mean you'll get a great interview out of them ever again, and they may even decline your interview request. All right, Steve, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. The captain is reporting we have one of the league's best young teams. I would concur with that. And good morning, Steve. Detroit D, bro, it's insane at Moonscar Blade. Yeah, it is. The prices are jumping. Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or a bust. Woo! There you go. There you go. You know, D, I did come up just off the top of my head with an answer to your problem. Go in with $50 and see if you can play blackjack at one of the casinos outside Ford Field. See if you can hit like 3 or 4 hands in a row. Go all in on each one. Maybe you'll be able to buy a Lions ticket if Lady Luck is shining your way. That's the best I got, man. I wish I had a better answer. All right, there you go, Matthew. Yeah, greetings, salutations, morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust. Woo! There you go. And good morning to you, Matthew. Lions fan number one. Good morning, gang. Yeah, the costs have pushed me out of attending games. That's my fear for a lot of fans. It's just, more and more people can't go because you've got choices where to put your discretionary income. And can you put it all into one game? I don't know. I would be curious what the cost for standing room only tickets are. I used to actually prefer, when I wasn't reporting, to have those tickets just because you can move around more freely and stuff. That's me, though. All right, Phil, how's your team coming together, Dan? Question mark. You going to be good again this year? We'll see what shakes out. What I'd like to say, Phil, as a coach is, hey, you are 0 whatever until you earn a win. I don't count wins. I count losses as a coach. So every time we win, we take away losses, and we'll see how it goes. So we'll probably have a challenging year because I'm going to guess you'll see a lot of teams try to slow us down and make adjustments. All right, Detroit D. Plus, I'm coming from Atlanta. Easy, a $1,000 weekend after hotel, flight, and food. Yeah, it's going to add up in a hurry if you're having to fly here or drive here or whatever you're going to do. Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe I guess the only thing I could say, D, is maybe if the Falcons have a real bad year, Detroit comes that way, maybe you can save some money waiting for that. Or a destination close to you, maybe a Panthers game or something. I don't know. All right, Moonscar, definitely insane. I'll just watch on the couch and grit my teeth on every play like it's the most critical play of the game, as usual. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Nothing wrong with it. I know talking like Micro Mike in the past, how come he doesn't go to more games? He enjoys the live broadcast plus the drive time there and back. I definitely get that. So, yeah, some people just enjoy watching at home. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see. Quentin, greetings, salutations, all getting home from work, kicking back. We'll kick back, relax, enjoy the awesome Duke Crew. Manberg, yo, Manberg, how you doing? Let's go. Cheaper to watch them in Chicago this year. It might be. Troy D, I'll be on my couch doing the same thing at Moonscar. Yeah, I think a lot of us will be. Rocky, good morning. All in my book will be about 8 in the top 25 midway through the season. Woo! The talent is there. I would agree. We've got an incredibly good young team, especially if some of the other younger guys have been slowly developing. Make that next push up. Phil, I just watched Micro Mike for play-by-play. Nobody better than Mike on the mic. Hey, Mike on the mic. I like that. All right, Jedi Sith music, the Fab Five, nice one. There you go. Hey, and every once in a while I get something right. And I'm thinking about going to the Arizona. It'll be cheaper to make it there, I think. You know, that's some good outside of the box thinking, and you might be spot on with that. Surfer, what do you got? You don't have to answer anything. Many reporters trying to make you say controversial things. Yeah, not easy for the kids to answer in those pariahs. Yeah, that's kind of my point with things is I think sometimes people forget a lot of the times when you, even at the pro level, these are kids. These are kids that are, in some cases, 19 to 23. I mean, look at our top 5 on the 25. these guys are still growing into being adults. And sometimes, you try to put them on the spot, and, you might not always appreciate some of their answers because they are going to have triggers. They are, especially after an emotional loss or something like that. Imagine trying to interview, say, Josh Reynolds after the NFC game, championship game. I mean, he's probably not going to be in the best frame of mind. He's probably going to be a little upset, and he's probably not going to respond well to people jumping on him about a pass or something. Reporters do need to, talking from experience, you do have to remember this is a human being who may have just had a bad moment. No need to kick them while they're down. JDC, I listen to the Lions on radio and watch the high-low lights later. There you go. Hey, man, that's not a bad way to be. I know Miller does a great job on the mic, in my opinion. And I did like Mark Champion. I thought he did a very good job, too, and he'll always be etched in my mind just because listening to some of those 90s teams. All right, Silver, good morning, Coach. Back at you. And I respect that, JDC. There you go. Matthew, Hutch, Laporta, Gibbs, St. Brown, Sewell, Branch, McNeil, Campbell, and Iffy. That's a pretty good list right there, and all very young. JDC, thanks, Ed. Bus driver, what do you got? Moonscar, we have other drivers. This is some family time. Yeah, enjoy your family time. You get it, because you know what? Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't always get time back with your kids. Moonscar, JDC, you get more yard and oil changes done that way. There you go. And yard work. Correct. Yes. Patrick, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. I hope everyone is having a great morning. This year, cut down dates are going to be a real interesting, to say the least. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of guys get got by other teams once we release them. It'll be real interesting to see some of our cornerbacks, especially, because we are very deep there, in my opinion. I think you're going to see some guys end up playing against us. All right, Phil, if we're out fishing, it's on the radio. Well, enjoy it while you're fishing, and, just have a good time. A lot of different people enjoy it in different ways. I know I'm going to do some broadcasting of games this year, and just to work on my game calling skills and voice from yesteryear when I used to call games. I'm probably going to have a little fun with it. All right, Michael D., what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Coach Duke Crew, Super Bowl or bust, one pride. And good morning to you there, Michael. Miles Martin, good soggy morning. Here come the mosquitoes to compete with the ticks. Yep, it's that time of year, my friend, that time of year. All right, JDC, or a more or less. Okay, more or less. All right, Ed, I get so locked into the games, and then I have Red Zone on as well. I never experienced Red Zone until it might have been last season when, I've had access to it through the provider I watch games on. But I was just like, one day, I just happened to watch it. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. This is football, on, what do you want to call it, energy drinks or whatever, because it just keeps flipping around. I enjoyed that thing a ton, man, a ton. JDC, whoops, all right, there you go. Kurt, what up, Joe? What up, Kurt? And, hey, thanks for coming on yesterday, my friend. Thank you very much. All right, Dennis, we will win the Super Bowl. That's a fact, Jack. And now you can dig that. You can dig that. That's a fact, Jack. Yeah, good Stripes reference there. All right, JDC, never mind. Moonscar, laughing. All right, Dennis, what up, Doe? Hatman, what up, Kurt Steele? JDC, hi, Kurt. Ed, the Lions will win the Super Bowl. Believe it, bro. I do believe it. Bo, nice intro. I'm glad you guys liked it. Motown Mitch, great salutations, Coach of Duke Crew. The Lion, it's as always, Lions rule, Bears drool. There you go, Motown Mitch, even though I massacred that pretty badly. All right, Kurt, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, Kurt. Patrick, I'm telling you, I love the new helmets, but I am also a big fan of the original silver and blue helmets. Yeah, I still love the 1920s throwbacks. There's a lot of them just because you grow up with them. You enjoy them. I'm with you. I do enjoy the old school ones. All right, Moonscar, Kurt Steele, I thought it was what up, Doe. All right, hey. Ed, we had 20% of that list. We did, man. We had a strong representation. Ed, it's crazy. It is. Jim, good morning. Dan, Duke Crew, go Lions. Woo! Good morning to you, Jim, and hopefully you have an outstanding one. Dan, good morning. Duke Crew, Super Bowl or bust. Woo! There we go. And hey. Hold on. Yep, I gotta always find new things to throw on this channel. All right, Kurt, we should have had at least 6. Brian Branch just missed the list. He did. I think he got him, maybe a couple other guys a little further down, but BB is up there. Brent, your intros are getting much better, Coach. I'm working on them, man. I am working on them. But thank you for that, Brent. Dave, we will see. We will see August 29th. Yes, we will. Bo Branch will make the list, the next list. He might be. He might be on that next one. Doug, that's what's happening when you get 2 firsts. One ends up being 6th pick, and a third. Let's see if we can withstand Chicago and Green Bay up and comings. Yes, I mean, both teams, to your point, Doug, they're getting better. They're going to keep coming for us, and that's the way it should be. You want there to be strong competition. Nobody just to run away with things in a division. But, hey, it's going to be a game of inches and a division of inches in the upcoming season. And give the defense a few weeks. By week 8, they'll be off and running, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it might be even faster than that, Ed. We'll see, just because you have so many players back. I mean, the secondary is all new, but that's about it on the defense. But it'll be interesting to see what the secondary does. All right, Ed, every year there's a defense that starts off slow but hits their stride in November. That'll be us, I believe. It could be. Could definitely be. Shake and bake. Good morning, Dan and One Pride family. Exclamation point. Brad Holmes has assembled a highly touted and talented football team. We are witnessing the creation of a dynasty. One Pride. Exclamation point. Go Lions. I agree. You keep drafting as well as this dude does. Him, the scouting department, everybody involved with it. Then you know what? You're going to keep seeing the team stick around. And with what they've shown Jared Goff, that they're saying, hey, this guy is our guy. He's going to be our guy for, I would say, at least the next 3 years. You know, you should have stable quarterback play. The skill positions on offense are young enough where, 2, 3, 4 years from now, they're all still there, performing well, probably hitting their prime. Yeah, this team's set up for a bit of a run for a while. Kurt, OTAs today, agreed. I like the Lions practice jerseys this season as well. Yeah, we'll have to get some sideline reports, what's going on over at OTAs. Although, I don't expect any kind of groundbreaking news, but it doesn't mean we can't report on it. All right, Moonscar, my concern is always the rookie wall. Week 13, because that's where they used to be in college. Yeah, 100%. Phil says no statue. All right, we will remove Eric Kramer's statue from the front of Ford Field, where it should be. All right, Kurt, statue at Allen Park, if they win the Super Bowl, yeah, man, they might just want to take part of Detroit and make that a massive statue, maybe something like Lord of the Rings style, just a few hundred feet tall. Moonscar, shall we take a minute to laugh at the New York Giants and alternate uniforms? Yeah, they're getting some flax for it, for sure. Hey, you try something, some people like it, some people won't. I'll leave it alone. If they want to wear them, go for it. That's what I'll say. All right, Kurt, Sheila needs a helmet sticker. There you go. Miles Marker at Bus Driver Brent. That's excellent. Good for them and for you supporting them in their odyssey. Best of luck. 100%. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the drive. Embrace the moment. There you go. All right, Brent. Safe trip, Bus Driver Brent. There you go. Moonscar. Let's see. Kurt at Moonscar Blade. They are absolutely trash. There's a reason they don't wear them anymore. The reason is they're ugly. Yes, that's a lot of truth there. Taylor Made, don't sleep on Derek Barnes in 2024. No, I thought he made good strides last year. We all get the pick in the playoff game, stuff like that, but he continues to develop. He came in, I remember his rookie year, he played incredibly well in the preseason game, and people were like, man, why aren't they playing him? Takes time, and there's a difference between preseason football and regular season football. But I think he's going to continue to evolve. Same with Lee McNeil and a lot of the younger guys on the list. Let's see, Matthew, next year, add Arnold and Rakestraw. They could be up there for sure, especially with solid rookie years. Bus Driver, thanks, guys. Anytime, man. Hopefully you enjoy it. Patrick, one thing I love about this show is that you actually read the live chat and talk to us. Others, not so much, with the exception of Lion Syndicate. Just pointing that fact. Yeah, no worries, man. Every show does their thing differently. The only thing I would say, I think I've said it on the channel before, is find the one that works for you. What one person does on their show doesn't work for everyone. Just like one reporter's way of recanting and telling how a game went doesn't work for everybody. You find what works for you, go with that. So if you like it, I'm glad you guys are here. And if you don't, I understand. It happens. All right, Kurt. Brent, let's see. What up, bro? What up? Let's see. Brent, yo, Kurt, what up, though? Let's see. Patrick, coach, did you change your sound settings? It sounds a lot different, not quite so crisp. It could be just me. I don't. The only thing I can think of, guys, because the settings on the mic and everything else hasn't changed. What has changed potentially is because it gets so hot in here this time of year, I open up a window and I leave the door open. So maybe that's causing a sound change effect, but everything as far as on the mic should be exactly the same. So yeah, no changes. All right, Motown, my main man, the man of Steel himself, Kurt Steele. What up, though? There you go. Let's see. Moonscar microphone sounds like you're in the bathroom again. Yeah. Again, I could. I guess I could close the window. Hold on. I guess let's see if that's it. Hold on. We're gonna Scooby-Doo this. So, all right. I just closed the window. The door is closed. Let's see if that has any kind of effects. And I'll have to get through the comment section to find out, but at least I'll eventually get there. All right, Rocky. Hoping for Arnold Rakestraw and Yes Manu make it, and Vaki runner up in the top 25. All right. Yeah, bathroom echo. All right. And again, I just closed the window. So let's see. This is Brent's comment is 7:08. It's 7:41. So I'm gonna have to get through a few to see if the closing the window changes things. All right, JDC, mic upgrade time, coach. There you go. Motown, yes. What up, though? Sounds like you have a lot of echo. All right. Magic 8 Ball says new mic. Hell yeah. All right. I'm guessing it's the time of year. Here, I'll go to the bottom of the comment section. All right. Is it making any impact, the fact that I closed the window? Let's see. I got to get to the bottom of the comment section. All right. Amazing. It's better. Amazingly, it's better. All right. Says, let's see. Larry agrees, and salutations, coach and Duke crew. Ed, I love watching Stroud, Brow, and Allen Broski. All right. The Knucklehead kid, Knucklehead. Interesting. You would keep throwing out there. Moonscar, not that I can notice. All right. Well, some said it was better. Some said it's not. So I don't know. I'll just leave it alone and go from there. Yeah, that's the only thing that's changed is that I opened up the window just to get some fresh air in here during this time of year. So, all right, let me move back down the comment section and try to figure out roughly where I left off. So, all right. All right, here we go. All right. Bruce Mayor, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Exclamation point. Dan, I don't think your mic is turned on. Should be turned on. Yeah, it's on. Big Daz, what do you got? Good morning, coach and Duke crew. Broski, Dan, the Bears, and Fudgies also have a lot of young, talented players. They do. They just do not have as many yet on the top 25 as the Lions did this year. Silver Server, yeah, I really like your Ric Flair. Woo! How about playing that every time somebody writes one? Sorry, not really a cowboy. All right. No, that might be a little bit of overkill with as many times as people write the woo. All right, Motown, yes, but he's going over the top 25, not the bottom 25, broski. Ouch. Here we go. Tim, all 22 ranked Amon-Ra St. Brown as a top 10 player in the league and not just a top 10 receiver. Yeah, and I get it's going to vary from who's doing the reporting and who's not. Big Daz, best young team plus our draft class. There you go. And, yeah, we did have, I think, a good draft class. Some of them are going to take time to develop, but, hey, get it there. All right, Garrett St. Brown may not have been higher because he's a slot receiver. It's almost like he doesn't get more credit because he doesn't get the 50-50 ball, but he can also do much more than that. He does, man, and he probably does get overlooked a little bit for what he's done in his time. All right, Rocky, Russ Thomas, worst GM in football history. He definitely had his detractors. We'll put it that way, Rocky. Great Lakes, good morning, coach and crew. Where do you watch games at? I have family near Kalamazoo. Maybe we could do a watch party at a place in the area for another game. Could be something we could try to work on for sure. Go Lions. JDC rebuilding since 57. Is this the year? That's the good question there. Miles, Alan, all right. Ed, I am getting tired. I'm getting tires today. Well, go enjoy their new tires, my friend. Bo, tailgate up North Brothers. Maybe we can do something there. There you go. Set up some individual tailgates. Yeah, maybe people won't have to drive as much then. Ed, long time coming. There you go. It would be. Miles, Amon-Ra St. Brown slighted, overlooked. Once again, the man is the top 10 for sure. There'll be a lot of truth to that, I believe. I think he's definitely top 10. All right, Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. This is the biggest and best rebuild a young talent in the Lions history of the Lions. And I'm 74 years old, lifetime Lions fan. I have seen it all. Hey, well, enjoy the good times while we got them, Ed, because it's been a long time coming, and I think they're going to be around for a while. Ed, I still can't believe we have 6 1 p.m. games. How times have changed. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, everybody wants a piece of the Lions. Ed, I love it, man. 100%. Ed, thank you. Brad, Sheila, and Dan. There you go. JDC, yeah. Ed, tires critical they are and expensive. Yes, they are. Ed, Houston will push 8 sacks. I think so. I think he's going to have a pretty solid year, without question. All right, Ed, JDC, the dealership wanted to charge me $1,200. I found the same tires at Walmart for $450. Funny how that works. 100%. Moonscar, Envy and Favre Rodgers is why I so passionately hate the Fudgies. There you go. Yeah, Favre, Rodgers, and now it appears Jordan Love will fall into that list to some degree. So kudos to the Packers for what they do. But also, it does get frustrating watching them have good quarterback after good quarterback after good quarterback when we only seem to get bad quarterbacks until we got, Goff and Stafford. All right, JDC, Wally World, there you go. Wally, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Woo! Thanks for all you do for us, Dan, and hit the like button. Yes, if you guys would take up just a brief moment of time, hit that thumbs up button. Helps the channel out a lot. Patrick, it takes a special talent that rare people like Brad Holmes and DC have to make a great talent. Not many have it. No, they've got a very rare skill set in their ability to identify talent and develop the talent. Ed, in the last 20 years, only one team that has lost the Super Bowl has made it back. Not looking good for the Rams. No, let's hope that the Lions get to the Super Bowl, push the Rams back even more. JDC, I'd rather be dead than a cheddarhead. There you go. Ed, I will be attending these games week 3, Arizona week 7, Minnesota week 9, and Green Bay and week 17, San Francisco. Okay, there you go. Oh, you got a good slate of games going to. Hey, man, JDC, I never minded the Cheddars until I lived there for 5 years. Now I hate them. Very good. All right, Broski. Detroit and San Francisco will both regress this season. Preseason hype doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. We'll see what they have to do. You have to earn wins, and that's what I agree with. JDC, quote, we love you, Brent. We'll never forget you. We love you, Darren. We'll never forget you. Hey, man, I live amongst cheddar here. Yeah, there you go. I live amongst cheddars. There you go. Well, enjoy it while you're there. Gary, good morning. All grit for life, exclamation points. I wish Elferon wasn't so bad. I would go see a live game. I've seen 6 of them, but been a long time. Nothing like seeing it live. Would love to see this team. No, they're going to be a pretty good team to watch, I think. Rando, good morning all. Back at you. Ed, whoever gets the game-clinching Super Bowl play will be made man in Detroit. No, I would agree with that. Like I was saying earlier with Goff, if he happens to sort of like the game-winning Super Bowl touchdown pass late in the game, yeah, he's never paying tax or anything again. Hey, Broski, Garrett Warmer, exactly. Slot receiver that was just paid $30 million a year. Romeo Odorius wins 50-50 balls. It is what it is, but you know what? Hey, I'll say this. I believe in Brad Holmes, MCDC, the coaching staff. If they think he's worth it, if they think he's not worth moving on from, I'm not going to disagree with them. Patrick Broski Bear, I think you're very wrong on this. Now Green Bay will, and so will Chicago and Minnesota. They don't do enough to take the next step. Yeah, they could be they didn't take the next step forward. I agree with that. Randall, with all of our talent, to me it looks like some of our defense line will be on, maybe starting on other teams when season starts. I think there's potential for a lot of guys on the current roster. I shouldn't say a lot, but a good amount of them who get cut to end up on other NFL teams and maybe even starting. Maybe. JDC, NFL fandom does crazy things to humans. It does indeed. Yeah, man, JDC, we live northeast of Madison in DeForest from 93 to 98. There you go. Broski, Patrick, at Patrick, no team improves as much this season than the Bears. Bears had the second best defense in second half of last season, and they're only getting better. Could be, man. It could be. We'll have to wait and see. The Bears could jump up. They could jump back. They could stay stagnant. There was really only one way to tell what a team's going to do, and that's when they get on the field and prove it. All right, JDC, I'm on with the Michigan-Wisconsin border. Hatman, there you go. You live on. All right, very good. Patrick, let's see, Broski. At Patrick, Bears have 3 stud wide receivers, 2 stud tight ends, and a nasty running back trio. Bears O-line improved as well. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes. All right, Patrick, Broski Bear, both Minnesota and Chicago have new quarterbacks. This is irrefutable. That we can all agree with. JDC, lots and lots of cheddars here. There you go. Patrick, it will take time to get good chemistry with the rest of the team. I would agree with that. At Broski. All right, Ed, can't wait for Arnold to pick off. Yeah, DK. There you go. Dak. There, all right. Dak, yeah. Let's see if we can do a house call on Dak. Jeff, with our young talent, our window is wide open for years to come. One pride. That I agree with, Jeff. 100%. Silver, Broski, of course you are going to disagree with this, but Justin Fields last year went 2-7 in the first 9 games, 5-3 in the last 8 games. To me, that was somebody coming into his own, right place, right time. That's, and I know I've said it before on the channel. I've said it to Broski. I would not have chosen Caleb Williams if I was the Bears. I would have stayed with Justin Fields. You know what you had in Justin, and I think he was only getting better. Obviously, they did not decide to go that route. Let's see where it goes for Chicago. Hey, man, Broski Bear laughing. All right, Dennis, we're bringing back dogs. We are. JDC, Broski, hope fun was had by all on vacation. Yeah, hope you had a good vacation there, Broski Bear. All right, Dennis, sorry, autocorrect. It happens, man. Phil, maybe a Duke crew member can offer you a couch to sleep on. All right, fair enough. All right, Patrick, stupid enter and shift buttons are so close together. It happens, man. Ed, the one thing about DC-led teams that is that we always hit our stride by December, and that is key for us to win the Super Bowl. No, yeah, 100%. You want to be peaking at the right time, not the wrong time. Ed, bring on 10-0 at home in December, January under DC. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that we were 10-0 at home in December and January under DC. I did not know that. Courtney, for 340, staying home and buying popcorn machine. Hey, there you go. I'm probably gonna have some nachos, maybe a hot dog from Circle K or something along those lines. Silver, I would have kept Fields, shot that pick at number 1, and build a dream team around the quarterback with the most tackle-resistant legs I ever saw. Fields is glad he is gone. Surprised nobody wanted him. I am to agree. I think a lot of it was just because where he was getting in his contract and some uncertainties with him. But you know what? I've said what I would have done. My marker, Michigan shares a border with each team in our division. We're going to show them who runs the region. There we go. Carl, Jamo will take a huge leap. That I agree with. I think he's going to have a breakout year. Phil, once in a great while, you are right, according to Jen. I don't know if she ever says I'm right, Phil. But hey, I'll take it. Once in a while is a step in the right direction. Moonscar, Ed O'Neill, yeah, those Arizona tickets are real cheap. Take that flight. Yeah, and it could be. Maybe that's the cheapest way to go, as crazy as that is. Billy the Kid, anyone notice both Gibbs and Laporta ahead of Jalen Carter? I didn't think about that, but you are probably spot on with that. And I do wonder, I remember last year when the draft happened, and even the first part of the season, a lot of Lions fans were jumping up and down that we should have taken Jalen Carter. Could it be the Lions representation, Brad Holmes, and everybody in between, got it right? And I guess that's going to come down to each person to debate. I like Carter, I do, but I don't think I would take him over both Gibbs and Laporta. At least that's me. Amy, good morning. Dan and the Duke crew! Exclamation points. Can't wait to see what the final roster is. I am blown away by the talent they have to choose from. Should be an incredible year. I think so. I gave my prediction that I think we're going to get off to a 6-0, maybe a 7-0 start. Obviously, anything can happen, but that's where I foresee our season starting at least. Rando at Silver Server. With that, and I agree, we should have traded for Fields and ran with him and Hooker. Let Goff go. Would have saved a ton of money. Could have signed Fields to a cheap deal. Potentially, yeah, depending on what Fields would have accepted. All right, Ed at Moonscar Blade. It's like 150 for me to fly out there. Yeah, you're probably saving a ton of money then to go out to the Arizona game. All right, Fields, what do you got? Super Bowl or bust? I'll go with that. And good morning to you, my friend. JDC coach, on your age chat, young men that age went to war. The young men today need to age faster in that cranium. There you go. Yeah, it just I get what you're saying about sending them off to war. It's just I try to always be respectful when interviewing people, especially if you're talking about people that, in my opinion, come right off the field, motion setting in. Maybe they made a big play that didn't go so well for that respective team. Just try to be respectful to them. All right, Broski at Silver Surfer, you're wrong. Fields was 5-8 as a starter last season. He didn't win 7 games. Did you see how pathetic he was week 1 home opener? How bad he was last game of the season? It happens, man. I mean, the only thing I would say, Broski, is maybe some of that is on the OC. Maybe some of that is on other aspects. I don't know, man. It could be debated. I like the kid. Yes, he needed growth and development, but I like what he offered. Just needed, in my opinion, more time to grow. But we'll see what Caleb Williams does. Billy Kidd, Pro Football Focus ranks our players exactly how I would draft them if I were building a team. Sewell, Hutch, St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs. Go with that then. I'll take that. All right, a few more here. Broski Bear, Silver Server Fields was 5-8 last season. Badger was 2-2. Get your facts straight. Yeah, I'll go. Okay, go fair enough. All right. Billy Kidd, maybe Gibbs over Laporta. Both are elite. I would agree with that. Both are elite. Broski, Silver Server Fields was 10-28 as a starter over 3 seasons. He missed games as well because he plays like a knucklehead. He didn't improve in areas he could control. Fair enough. All right. Ed, hey, Broski. All right. Great Lakes. Maybe Fields wasn't as good as we thought, but he was also traded for a pair of used socks and a water bottle. Lousy front office the Bears have. Fair. I'll go with that. All right, Ed, how you doing today, bro? That's a good question. Rando, B, very good. Broski, Patrick, Caleb is already an upgrade over Fields. Fields never had a 2,600-yard passing season in 3 years. That's unacceptable. Caleb will be better than that as a rookie. Maybe. We'll see with time. Yep. Dan, what time is it? Question marks. It's Super Bowl time. Let's go. Woo! 100% with that, Dan. All right, Jason, 10,000 subscribers by the time we roll through the playoffs. Superdome or bust. Man, we get to 10,000, that would be something. I'll be shocked by that, but I guess it is possible for sure. Mike, a.k.a. Hutch Jr., good morning, Dan. Good morning to you, Mike. And Mike, by the way, will be on the show Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. He'll be on there for one of those 15-minute slots. All right, Rando, Brosi, so much of Fields' problems was his play calling. It sucked. And that's the part none of us can know. Did the OC put him in a good position to succeed? Did they not? I mean, I would say this. I thought they put him into the situation to be a running quarterback a lot. Last year, they tried to change it, I believe, to a certain degree. But when they did so much of it is a couple of years in a row with him just basically trying to be a shake and bake quarterback, you're also slowing down his progression to read through defenses and progress in a passing manner. So at least that's my take on it. I won't get into a deep dive debate on it. All right, let's see. Silver Server. All right, Broski. I will stick with Fields anyways. Caleb might be a star. We shall see. Well, good. There you go. Broski, JDC, good morning. Yes, I had a great time. Charleston, South Carolina. It's one of my favorite places ever. All right. Phil, how much of a difference will Harbaugh make in San Diego? I think a lot. I think a lot, which he typically does, whether collegiately, professionally, or whatever. He's made an impact everywhere he goes. All right, Billy the Kid, because of how the Bears played it, and I think they didn't want to trade him in the division. Minnesota might have a third for him. There you go. Probably didn't want to give him up in the division opponent. Mike K, what do you got? I think Ben Johnson pissed the Washington Commanders off the way they're stealing our upper management. Either that or it's a sign of respect that they want to be like you. and they want to take your guys, so hopefully it can be more like you. All right, a couple more here, and that's it. All right, Motown Broski is correct. The Bears were already lead the league in 2 stats with Williams. Nails painted and quarterback tears. There you go. Broski, Ed O'Neill, good morning. Dan, I agree. Broski, Fields was not a good quarterback. I was happy when the Lions passed on him. I think a lot of people ultimately were happy with that. All right, Patrick Broski, it still takes at least 1 full season and an off season to get good chemistry between receivers and quarterback. All right. Randall, Billy Kidd, I was glad they didn't. Let's see. Broski, Great Lakes, Michigan Fields, lousy, played to determine his value. There's not a market for a trash quarterback who can't throw for 2,600 yards in a season. I would probably say there's a lot of truth to that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Hope you have a great day. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push for 6,700 subs. Also, if you would, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel out a lot. Last but not least, if there is some breaking news today, I'll get it out to you guys as quick as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.